which is very good. So you can sort of pick your colors. That blue is quite nice. So I was thinking blue with a white LED chasing. Hello small people, I'm a ghost talking, you can't see my head. In today's video we're going to be fitting our new processor, new motherboard into our new case, as well as harvesting the graphics card, which is a GTX 1070. Few bits like the fans, power supply, things like that over. We're going to be fitting it all in this new case. So we've upgraded to the 3700X, which was about £300 from Amazon. And by doing so, we needed to get a new motherboard. So this is the B450 Gaming Pro Carbon AC. So throughout the video, I'm actually going to keep this tower on the floor over here, off camera, just so I can take the parts out, and I've got more space to work on the new one. We're also going to do a comparison on export times. I have a log file for exporting a 4K video, 60 FPS, 30 FPS 1080p video. So we're going to do the before and after and compare the performance, see if the upgrade was worth it. So as you guys can see, I've already fitted the motherboard off camera. We attempted to build this PC in a separate recording, but my old processor, we were going to use that for now and get the 3700X later, didn't actually fit in these mounting points, the Noctua fan. So I had to order the 3700X. But essentially for mounting your motherboard, there will be these screws that are called standoffs, and all you do is you screw the standoff into the case, and there'll be a few points which you can see in the holes in the motherboard, and then you put your motherboard on and you put a final screw in, and it just sort of sandwiches the motherboard between them. So we've got our power supply. If you are taking parts from an old computer and putting them in, just make sure you clean them. As you can see, I have my compressed air, I've got quite a few cans, got microfiber towel or microfiber cloth as well, lint free. So we'll just slot it in here the right way around. Alright, so next we'll get our new CPU. And here's what you pay for. So right now, the CPU is in the lock position. Just lift this. Put the CPU mount, and it unlocks. You see it moves very slightly. That's unlocked. So now it'll let you pop your CPU in. On the motherboard, there's a triangle right in the corner, triangle, triangle, and then a square. And you can see on the CPU, it's the same layout. So there's a triangle, triangle, square, see there, and a triangle. So you just want to match up the two squares. That's the easiest way of matching it up. And it should just slot in nice and easy. Lock it in place, and you're done. That's not going anywhere. I like to just get a clean microfiber cloth, just clean the surface, because you have oil on your hands anyway, and you want to make sure it's a very good surface for the thermal compound to stay on. So just clean it. Okay, so just before I move you guys around, this is the cooler. It's the Wraith Prism RGB cooler. You also get these two wires. One is going to be for your RGB lighting, I assume, and the other one will be, I'm assuming again, for the fan control. Okay, so sorry if it shakes quite a lot. I'm holding the phone with my hand. So I have the cryonaut thermal paste. Lots of people have different ways of doing this, just depends on your preference. I like to do just one blob right in the middle, and then just let it spread. Okay, so this was really fiddly to mount the Wraith Prism Cooler. I'm not sure if I was doing something wrong or if it's just a bit of a bad design. But what I did is, so I did the back side first, then came to this side, pulled it down, again loosened this black bracket, clipped it on, and then locked it in place with this part. Alright people, so this is how old the previous system was. This, I didn't even remember how old it is. This is DDR3 RAM. No one uses this anymore. So it's obviously not going to fit, because the point where you mount it is about here rather than here. So this isn't going to fit. So these are going back on eBay. So I've just ordered some DDR4 3200 MHz RAM. We're going to do everything else, and I'll just stick the RAM in tomorrow. So in your tower, you're going to have a few slots for your hard drives. All you do is you just pull these. You can do it with one hand, just pull them, slides out. There'll be a variation of screw holes, mounting points for your hard drives. Just going to mount these on, pop some screws in. Say with this Cooler Master case, they do give you a lot of good things, and I like the design of it. So you can just mount your SSDs like that, and obviously leave bit overhanging, because when you do your wiring, if you mount it on these 4 points, your wires are going to have to bend to get in it. At least this way, when you chuck it in, the wires can just pop in, that's it. So yeah, just slide this back into its bay, there, and you'll hear a click. Now it's locked in place. It's not going anywhere. So I'm going to do the same with my second hard drive. So off camera, I'm just going to be doing some of the wiring, and I'm going to be popping the fans in. But for anyone who didn't know, with your fans, it is important the direction that it faces. So airflow will generally flow into the open side and flow out of the grill side. So as an example, you'll see here, this is the open side. So this is going to pull air in from the case, and the grill side is out here, so it's going to pull air from the case and chuck it out the back. This is called an exhaust fan. So for the fans at the front of your case, or maybe on the side, these would be your intake ones. You want to have them mounted like this. So it's pulling air through the open side again from the outside, and your grill will be on the inside, because you want fresh air to be coming into your case. So because obviously heat rises, you want exhaust fans at the top. So you're going to want the open side facing down like this. There's 4 sets of system fans, and then there's a CPU fan up here as well. So CPU fan I've already connected the CPU to. Just consult this manual. It will help a lot with your wiring. Make sure you have this to hand. If you don't, just go online, type in your motherboard manual or user guide, and they'll have that as well. On the front panel off, you can just pop it off and then put some fans in the front. But yeah, 2 fans in the front, and then I've got 1 in the top, 1 on the back as well. Okay, so the RAM's just arrived. We've got the cat just chilling because it's hot. So this HyperX one is the DDR3, and these ones are the DDR4. These ones, if anyone's wondering. The difference between DDR3 and DDR4, of course, is what they're capable of, but the pin layout is different. You're right over there, cat.
Can you even see her?
Yeah, you just see her eye. She's just creeping. So this is the old one, the old case. This is the GTX 1070, the triple fan OG Strix. But as you can see, the problem we had is there's this MSI shield, whatever you want to call it. But you can see the graphics card isn't perfectly seated, so it can move around a little bit. I've got it screwed in, all that sort of stuff, but this is the setup we're running, and I'm not comfortable with this graphics card sitting there like that. So that's another reason why we wanted to get a new one. So I tried to do some cable management. As you can see, I sort of gave up. I tried a little bit around here as well.
Well, I think it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it does the job. Besides looking good, if I may say so myself. I just need to pull a few of the wires through a bit more. Small people, ignore the spaghetti junction back here. Got everything connected. This is the first startup. Things never go to plan on the first startup, so I'm not expecting too much. Alright people, so just an update. We did some more fault finding last night. Couldn't figure out what it is. So they have these easy debug LEDs here. So I removed the fan, and this is what happened. So hopefully I haven't broke this lock. I think I applied too much thermal paste. I spent about 3 more hours troubleshooting. You can see the RAM's in the wrong place. It should be in number 2. And then I was reading online, these motherboards, they only released an update for the Ryzen 3000 CPU, so the Zen 2 CPU, so it won't actually recognize that this is a valid CPU. So I have just downloaded the latest BIOS. Put it on a USB 2 is best. I've put it in the flash back slot, and then there's a button just above it. You just press that, and as you can see, the green LED on the USB is flashing, means data is transferring, and that red LED up there is flashing. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes. Full moment of truth. The monitor's on. Everything's connected. It would be helpful if I switched it to the right display mode. No. Stuck on the next one down. Sent some sort of signal. Oh, there we go. I took one of the RAM sticks out of slot 4. Okay, let's pick up the default settings. Yep, it's looking good. Let me just pull the curtain if I can. Okay, it's looking good. When we were building the PC, we had the RGB connection in there, as well as the USB header. You actually need to unplug the RGB cable, so you can see it right there, because otherwise you just get a few like basic colors, and this software, the Wraith Prism one, doesn't actually do anything. So you can see here, if I turn up the speed, so this is on the LED. If we increase the speed, you can see the one chasing around the LED, the ring. That's off. Let's change the fan just so you guys can see. Yeah. So it's controlling the fan properly now, which is very good. So you can sort of pick your colors. That blue's quite nice. So I was thinking blue with a white LED chasing. But yeah, I'm gonna tinker with this. You can set this up how you want. You can actually import and export themes as well. So yeah, I'm going to play around with this, but it looks like it's all working properly apart from the RAM. I've only got 16 gig in there right now, but I'm going to start editing some videos and just... So as you can see on the left, we have our new build and our old build, which will be in the description below. The previous CPU was an AM3 one. Got about the same RAM running right now, but the main thing is obviously the CPU. As you can see on the right, we have the different results. So using the previous build, so for a 1080p 30fps video, which is the HTUK meet, that took 9 minutes and 17 seconds, and with the new build it took 3 minutes and 43 seconds. So that's with no overclocking or anything like that to the RAM or the CPU, which is so much better. You can see by the Zombie Night shooting event, previously with the old build that took over 30 minutes, and with new build it took just over 15 minutes, and again that's 4K 60 FPS, cutting down more than half the time for editing and exporting. We've had it running for about 2 weeks now. Generally day to day, for example on Rocket League, I used to get around 200 FPS, if that. Now we get solid 250 FPS, which is the cap. One thing though, this CPU does reach much higher temperatures. You can see it reached 79 degrees Celsius when it was exporting, which is in the safe range. But the old one used to run much cooler, which isn't a problem. We've got all the fans, we've got all the things we need. So much happy with this. Day-to-day usage, web browsing, watching videos, everything just loads instantly. No issues whatsoever. So you guys can expect much better quality videos coming soon. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I know this was a bit of a different video, so we'll be back to the car videos and the vlogs and stuff like that in the next video.